Miranda Lambert appeared on the Kelly Clarkson Show, expecting a lighthearted conversation about her latest tour and personal projects. But what unfolded left the entire studio in stunned silence. From the start, there was a strange tension in the air. Kelly, trying to bring up a light anecdote about Miranda's onstage comments during a recent performance, struck a nerve when she referenced a viral video in which Lambert appeared to scold fans for taking selfies during a ballad. Miranda, clearly irritated, fired back that she was tired of being misrepresented and accused Kelly of fueling the fire instead of offering support. The audience, sensing the friction, went quiet. Kelly tried to pivot, but Miranda doubled down, saying it's always the same with these shows, you bring us on to tear us down with fake smiles. Kelly's face fell as she tried to regain control of the segment. The argument intensified when Kelly mentioned that artists have a responsibility to their fans, regardless of the setting. Miranda shot back, accusing Kelly of being out of touch and playing both sides by acting like the fun friend on TV while stirring controversy off camera. At that, Miranda ripped off her mic and stood up. The crew tried to intervene, but she was already storming off the set, her heels echoing. As she made her way backstage, Kelly, clearly caught off guard, turned to the camera and offered a shaky smile, trying to salvage the moment with a joke that didn't land. The segment was abruptly cut to commercial, and within hours, the clip was circulating online, sparking a firestorm of opinions. Neither Kelly nor Miranda commented for days, but the fallout left both fan bases divided in daytime. Television changed forever. Backstage sources revealed that Miranda was visibly shaking as she exited the studio, muttering under her breath about being ambushed for ratings. A staff member reportedly tried to calm her down. She wasn't having it snapping. You don't bring a woman on live TV to humiliate her in front of millions. Meanwhile, Kelly remained seated on the couch in stunned silence for several minutes after the camera stopped rolling. An executive producer whispered in her ear, urging her to regroup for the next segment, but Kelly brushed them off, saying quietly, that was not supposed to happen. Despite the show's best efforts to edit the confrontation from future re-airings, clips of Miranda's walk-off flooded social media, trending worldwide within the hour under hashtags like #LambertVs, Clarkson, and #WalkOffTV. Comment sections lit up with passionate fans taking sides, some defending Miranda's right to set boundaries, others blaming her for being unprofessional. Behind the scenes, network executives reportedly reached out to both camps, urging a resolution, before things spiraled further.
But things only escalated.
Miranda's rep issued a scathing statement the next morning, accusing the show of baiting their client into a viral moment and violating pre-interview agreements. Kelly's team clapped back hours later with a statement emphasizing their history of supporting artists and highlighting how the segment was never intended to provoke. Still, whispers within the industry suggested this wasn't an isolated incident. Tensions between country artists and daytime hosts had been building behind the scenes for months. Invitations were quietly revoked, appearances canceled, and PR teams began walking on eggshells. What had started as a promotional visit turned into a cultural flashpoint, and Miranda's fiery exit became one of the most infamous moments in talk show history. In the days following the explosive episode, Miranda Lambert canceled a series of press appearances, including a planned performance on another major network, citing emotional distress and unprofessional media manipulation as the reason. Rumors swirled that she had refused to take calls from Kelly Clarkson herself, who allegedly tried reaching out directly to apologize. But those close to Miranda claimed she felt the outreach was too little, too late. Country music insiders began whispering about a divide forming in Nashville, those rallying behind Miranda's stand your ground moment, and others privately admitting the walk-off may have jeopardized future collaborations. Meanwhile, producers at the Kelly Clarkson Show were said to be in panic mode, scrambling to address not only the public backlash, but also the mounting pressure from advertisers. It's uncomfortable with the show's new reputation for unpredictable on-air confrontations, as headlines intensified. Kelly was spotted leaving the studio looking emotionally drained, dodging paparazzi questions about whether she regretted how things unfolded. Her team leaked a behind-the-scenes video in which Kelly was heard telling staff, "I never meant to push her buttons, I was just trying to be honest." The clip divided viewers even further. Some saw it as sincere remorse, others called it damage control. By the weekend, Miranda returned to social media, posting a cryptic message. "A lion doesn't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep," which many interpreted as a direct shot at Kelly and her supporters. Fan bases clashed across platforms, with heated debates about professionalism, ambush journalism, and whether public figures should ever be expected to tolerate questions that cross the line. What was supposed to be a routine interview became a cultural wildfire, proving yet again that when country meets confrontation, the sparks don't just fly, they explode. Asterisk, despite the backlash, the Kelly Clarkson Show moved forward with a fresh slate of episodes, but the fallout from Miranda Lambert's dramatic walk-off lingered like smoke in the air. A week later, an anonymous crew member leaked that Kelly was deeply hurt by the incident, reportedly breaking down in private over what she called a complete misunderstanding gone public. While Kelly's team pushed for a narrative of reconciliation, Miranda remained silent, offering no interviews, no statements, and no returns to daytime talk. Instead, she doubled down by releasing a surprise single titled "Glass House," which fans quickly dissected as a not-so-subtle jab at Kelly. Lyrics like, "Don't ask me questions you don't want answers to, and keep your sugar smiles. I've got scars that shine" were interpreted as a clear declaration that Miranda wouldn't be painted as the villain in someone else's TV drama. Asterisk, meanwhile, the country music world split even further. Several artists unfollowed Kelly on social media, while others posted vague affirmations about empathy and professionalism that felt pointed without being explicit. Talk show hosts began weighing in, with some suggesting that Kelly's producer-driven approach was veering dangerously close to daytime sensationalism. Still, ratings for her shows surged temporarily, and executives found themselves at a crossroads: lean into the drama or repair the damage. Miranda, for her part, quietly booked an exclusive feature with a country-focused outlet, teasing that she'd finally tell her side in the coming weeks. Whether it would reignite the flames or put them out remained to be seen. But one thing was certain: the interview that started as lighthearted promotion turned into a full-blown PR firestorm. With no signs of cooling off anytime soon, asterisk, the long-awaited interview finally dropped. Miranda Lambert, poised in a rustic setting with acoustic guitars lining the walls, sat across from a trusted journalist from Country Beat Weekly. Her tone was calm, but her words were razor-sharp. She spoke about feeling ambushed on Kelly Clarkson's show, revealing that certain topics had been off the table per her team's prior agreement, specifically any mention of her ex, her past controversies, or comparisons to other female country artists. "When I got there, I thought it'd be a laugh and some light fun," Miranda said. "But when you feel like you're being cornered, you either fight or walk." She admitted she chose to walk because the fire I felt in that moment wasn't something I trusted myself to speak through without causing even more damage. Fans praised her honesty, and social media lit up with support. Hashtags like #TeamMiranda and #RespectBoundaries trended for days. Asterisk, back at NBC, executives faced mounting pressure as advertisers quietly questioned the show's stability. Kelly Clarkson issued a follow-up video on Instagram seated at a piano, voice shaky but composed. "I never meant for anything to go off the rails," she said, eyes welling. "This show is about joy, healing, and stories. I got caught up trying to go deeper and crossed a line," while her supporters applauded. The vulnerability, some critics called it damage control, disguised as sincerity. The ripple effects reached other upcoming guests, with several reportedly asking for stricter interview guidelines. And though Miranda continued her tour with renewed energy and record-breaking ticket sales, the lines between country camaraderie and showbiz rivalry had never been clearer. What had once been seen as harmless banter had now rewritten the unspoken rules of celebrity interviews, especially in the world of country music. Asterisk. Just when the buzz seemed to quiet down, a new player entered the narrative: Blake Shelton. During a surprise appearance at the Grand Ole Opry, Blake veered off his typical lighthearted set to address the situation in his own way. "I'm all about fun and games," he told the audience. "But when people I care about start getting thrown under the bus for the sake of ratings, ... well, that's not cool," the crowd roared. Though he never mentioned Kelly or Miranda by name, fans knew exactly who he meant. It wasn't lost on anyone that Blake and Miranda had once shared both a stage and a marriage. His subtle loyalty was a quiet bombshell, especially since Blake had appeared on Kelly's show dozens of times in the past. By the next morning, industry blogs were ablaze with headlines like "Blake throws shade at Kelly" and "Shelton backs Lambert in post-show fallout." Meanwhile, Kelly's team scrambled to prevent a media avalanche, issuing a tight-lipped statement insisting Kelly values all her guests and strives to create a welcoming environment. Miranda, for her part, didn't comment on Blake's remarks, though fans noticed she added "White Liar" to her set list for the first time in years. It was clear the incident had touched a deeper nerve within the country community. For other daytime talk shows like The View and The Talk quietly updated their guest protocols, especially for high-profile musicians. The conversation shifted from Miranda's walk-off to a broader discussion about the emotional safety of artists in public interviews. Behind the scenes, Kelly reportedly held an emotional all-hands meeting with her production crew, expressing regret, but also standing by the idea that authentic moments sometimes come with uncomfortable truths. Yet some crew members felt the pressure wasn't just external, it was internal. Fueled by rising demands for viral segments and ratings, pressure from the network. What began as a fiery moment between two stars had grown into a cultural flashpoint, forcing everyone from producers to publicists to reconsider what real transparency looks like. Canned gets to control the narrative. Asterisk, as the dust continued to swirl around the explosive interview, fans began to notice a shift in Miranda Lambert's public demeanor. Gone were the polished press appearances and light-hearted red carpet interviews. Instead, she began leaning into more unfiltered content on her social media. One Instagram post featured her in the studio with the caption, "Sometimes you've got to burn it down to build it better." Rumors ignited that she was working on a concept album inspired by the Confrontation, with insiders saying the material was some of the most personal she's ever written. Meanwhile, Kelly Clarkson returned to her show days later with a noticeably somber tone. As though she avoided naming Miranda, she opened the episode with a brief message. "Not every moment goes the way we want it to. But we learn, we grow, and we keep showing up with heart." Her voice cracked ever so slightly, but she powered through, diving into the rest of the program with her usual charm, even if the tension beneath the surface was palpable. Asterisk behind closed doors. NBC executives reportedly held closed-door meetings about setting new guardrails for future interviews, especially with guests who had passed tensions. One leaked memo referenced the Miranda incident as a turning point in daytime talk standards. Meanwhile, Miranda's fanbase doubled down on their support, with hashtags like #TeamLambert and #StandWithMiranda trending for days, yet not everyone took sides. Some fans expressed heartbreak at watching two women they admired clash so publicly, calling for healing over headlines. Others speculated about whether the fallout was being exaggerated for PR purposes, though sources close to both stars insisted the hurt was real. In Nashville, whispers spread about artists becoming wary of appearing on daytime platforms at all. Miranda, though, kept her focus forward, booking a surprise performance at a small Texas venue under the alias Mandy Jo. The audience, filled with die-hard fans who had followed every beat of the story, erupted when she debuted a searing new track rumored to be about the interview. The final line. "If you wanted fire, well baby, here's the blaze."